Okay, we're going to calibrate the CL1100. Here we can see a typical setup with the pH compensation. We're going to make sure that there's flow, so equal to or greater than 30 litres per hour. And we also have to make sure that there is chlorine in the system and it's stable. First thing we're going to do is get into the menu. We're going to go down to our quick setup and hold the measurement function, which will allow us to do our calibration and not have spiking 4 to 20 milliamp outputs. We'll do our pH calibration first, and we'll set the temperature to automatic, and we'll start off with the first buffer, which is going to be our buffer 7 pH. And when we're happy with that, putting it in our buffer, we'll wait for 30 seconds just for the pH to stabilize and the probe to get to its value, and we'll take a bit of an average over that 30-second period. Okay, when we're happy with that, we'll move on to the next buffer, giving the probe a little bit of a clean in between and into our pH 10. And we should start to rise relatively quickly. Once again, when it's stabilized, press enter, and then we'll count down. Put in what our buffer is. Okay, when we're happy with that, we'll check out the slope, make sure it's within spec, and then we'll store the value and save the configuration. Always turning our hold function off so the analog output comes back into spec. Then we're going to move on to our chlorine calibration. Entering the menu in the same fashion. Hold function on. Always set our temperature and our pH compensation to automatic. We start our calibration when our chlorine measurement is stable. Take a little bit of a sample via the little tap at the bottom of the manifold. We're going to use a DPD testing, which we always zero first. You can use whatever chlorine tester you like. This just happens to be the one we're using today. Once the tester is zeroed, we will add our 2 little sachets of DPD. Always give it a bit of a shake or rotate the vial. Make sure we've got a good mix. And then fairly simply we add the tested value into the system. Our resulting slope needs to be between 10 and 200 milligrams per nanoamp, and we never calibrate within an hour of the self-cleaning function. So that's about it. Fairly simple. You shouldn't need to calibrate the chlorine very often. pH is periodically as any normal pH.